Hey Ed, I got your radio here. Thanks for your order. I'm going to give you this Stryker mic for no charge. So that'll be with it. It takes a AAA, so you have to put one of those in if you want to try it out. I'm going to enable the full frequency for you. I got your message, so I know you like sideband a little bit more, so we'll do what I always do to these for that, because they definitely need some TLC on sideband a little bit on the transmit side, but they turn out really good. So we'll get it all squared away for you. And just to remember on these, there's a setting in the menu called gate. I recommend that you always leave that setting on. I'll explain more about that in the video. I'm not going to go into too crazy detail about it, but I will talk about it real quick again, because it came up last week on a 655 HPC Plus that the operator accidentally turned it off, and it did make a difference. So I think it really helps if you leave that on. Okay, so right now I'm just sending some files into the radio. Nothing too crazy or anything, but there is a UK FM option in the radio. You can look at some of my other videos, especially the ones that are saying like heading to the UK to a customer, and that'll give you a full complete walkthrough on how to really use this if you wanted to. I'm not saying that you should or that you even want to, but you may want to check it out. There's a real easy way to do it. I'm trying to see if there's anything new on Stryker's website in regards to these radios, so I haven't checked that in a while. No, it looks like it's still the same software. I'm just curious about this one. What does it say on my computer? If I've downloaded a bunch of times, yeah, it's the same one, so don't need that. Yeah, there's nothing really new yet. They haven't done anything new yet, so okay, no big deal. Once in a while I like to check that. Okay, so you see this, the screen's coming up orange. That's entirely up to you. I like orange, so that's where I leave it when I work with it here, but you can change it whatever color you want. So now we're going to go in and do the service setup really quick, so let's do that. Let's get that brought up here. Just tell it I want to do that through the computer. Let's see. Okay, so we're ready to go with that. Man, there's this big pile up to this guy in Haiti on 12 meter FTA, who I guess Haiti must be a rare one. I couldn't get through to him. Man, he was just one after another after another. So I guess I've experienced my first trying to get through a pile up, and obviously I don't have the right equipment to do that. So we're going to check this and just see where we're at with that. Right on the business, so that's good. Alright, so now we're just going to come through and we'll just set it up really quick. So real quick here, 50. Switch this into RMS. I've done really well lately though. On 12 meter, it's been outstanding. But there's still a bunch of countries that I just flat out can't get. That's as high as it'll go. About 49.9. I just can't get them. One of them being Bolivia. There was a guy out there too, but he wasn't actively calling CQ. He was just responding to people's calls, and I was like typing him in and actually calling for him, but he didn't acknowledge my station, so shame on it. But that's one that I need for the work to all South America. That one, and there's a couple small island countries that you never hear them out there. I'm sure in good time it'll all happen, but This is FM modulation that I'm adjusting. It's basically a freebie. You just turn it up all the way to get the higher modulation. It's about 3.9 something kilohertz. I know you don't really care about, you didn't say you were really too focused on FM, but I still do it. Okay, AM. Personally, on these radios, I think anything really over like 20 is too much. So that's just me. I mean, if it was my radio, I'd run it lower. About 8 to 10 watts is what I would run with the setup that I have here. Because my amplifier yields about 10 dB of gain. Whatever I put in, I get 10 times out on RMS and carrier on AM, and also peak watt. So if I put 10 watt carrier in and swing 100, it's going to do 100 watts and swing 1000. It's a 10 dB gain amplifier, so pretty good. Yeah, there's better ones out there, but do I run it? No, not very much. And I haven't even been out on that band to even run it. So now we're going to do the audio for AM. So this is what I mean by see how the carrier looks a little noisy. It's not really easy to show it in the service mode, but we'll come back to that later. Remember I was talking about that gate function? Talkback's on, sorry. And it was on from the start, so it just stays on now. That's way too hot. That's one thing I can't stand about all these kind of radios like this, is if stuff's on before you realize it, once you go into service, it's just on all the time. And I just hate that. I hate that. I hate talkback in general, except if I want to quickly monitor myself. I just flat out don't want to hear the beep, but I'm not going to shut the radio off and start over, so I'm going to listen to it. Okay, so just want to make sure that this is kind of where I want it. It's too much. See how we lose our roundness? I don't want that, so that's about the extent of that right there. That looks good though. Okay, I'll do the high power side. That's what I mean. See that? It's like a noise. There's noise. I don't know what that is and why that's in these radios. The gate function doesn't kick on in the service mode, but this is like a noise artifact. And the last customer that I talked to, he sent me a message, says, hey, can you give me a call? And just so happened at that time I could. He was a truck driver. He's got 655 HPC plus, and he said that guys were saying his audio sounded staticky and kind of like not as clean as it used to. And I said, hey, go in the menu and check that gate function. And sure enough, he had it off. And you switch that on, all that goes away. I don't know why that is. I mentioned that to Stryker way back when I first got these radios. So screen timed out. It is what it is at this point. You can actually get better audio out of these with the lower carrier. I already know that's too much, but just because I want to look at it closer. That's the ticket there, so. Yeah, that looks fine. Alright, so we're done there. We'll go to single sideband. This is going to get really annoying because of the two-tone sound, but again, I'm not shutting the radio off and doing all that, so. Peak table on. Set this up. And we're going to do a two-tone test here. Alright, so there's our two-tone. It's hideous, like they always are, so and it's going to be low. It's really low, about 12, so we're going to bump that number up to about at least 20. 21, 22 is a lot better. So now, see how much more rounded that is and everything. That's how radio should look. Too much. I'm just trying to. All I'm doing is changing how it looks. We're not changing the actual reading. We're just looking at it in different views. But that's a hell of a lot better right there. So that's all we want. Okay, so now we're out of that. Enough of them stupid sounds and noises and all that. So we're going to go here. This will take you 10K up and down. It's not really a big deal if it never sits in the middle or not. You can go on your reception 300 hertz either way. If somebody's slightly off frequency or something, you can dial them in. And that's about it. So the radio's pretty hot, but that's normal. They get hot. And when they're hot, they do a little less peak watts. So just keep that in mind. So now we'll just use this mic because it's here. And we'll start in sideband. So when we're in sideband, you can see now with voice. It's roughly still about an 80 to 100 watt radio. I can't speak for what everybody else shows or does on these, but I know what I do is right for the radio, so you know that's all I can go off of. If people are mesmerized by somebody showing the radio doing 150 or whatever, I mean, I don't know what they show, but again, I don't compare myself to the others anyways, but I have had people message before and say, hey, how come this and that and this power and yours only do this power? So I don't know, but what I do know is I do what's right by the radio, and then whatever happens, you know? So that's all I can say. If you turn that RF power down, it's going to do less power. If you need less power, you got the choice. And then on AM, we're going to come back over here. That's, remember I was talking about that noise artifact. Actually, I don't think the gate function's on, so let's go in and turn that on. I think I always default that off, and every time I have to turn it back on. So yeah, gate right here. So I want to turn that on. Now watch what happens on our carrier now. See, that's normal. That's how the radio should look without all that noise artifact in there. So when I speak, obviously now we got audio showing up and everything. And about 20. Usually when the radios heat up, the low carrier, like your dead key comes up, and then your peak watts go down a little bit. It's just what these MOSFETs do. So we're dead keying 20 and swinging a good 100 out of it. Just about what they're supposed to do. So again, on sideband, we switch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you always want to have less power on sideband, and you can see how much I cleaned it up, but it's still doing about that 100. The good thing about it here is we're about 3K. That's what I set it to in the menu. I think it'll go to 4. You can see here the boxes are 2 kilohertz, so 2 and 4. So you can see as I speak, sometimes you know the power drops off before we get to 4, but it's somewhere around 3 something anyway. So it's pretty good. And that's pretty much it for that. All the other features and everything are pretty self-explanatory on these. I will test the receiver really quick for you. Can I put this on an antenna? Maybe, because I haven't been out there. I'm just curious what's going on. It's pretty dead. I'm on my Mako V5000, I think. I'll put your NRC on. It's level 1. If that's something you want to run, you can turn it up if you want more. It's been pretty dead around here on this band. That's why I haven't been out here. At least for the sideband connoisseur, it's dead. That's at UKFM, but you have to do a couple things to switch it. There's Puerto Rico, a lot of big radio stations there. Go to the weather band. Whoops. So I pick up a lot of these weather bands frequencies. All kinds of them in Michigan anyways. That's the local one there. The antenna is about 66 feet to the base where the feed point is, so that's pretty good anyway. So there you have it, Ed. I can't show you much on sideband because there's nothing going on this band, but I hope you enjoy it when you get it, and enjoy the free mic and everything. 73, thanks a lot.